へへ、ハント、お前こんな格好するのが趣味だったのか？
違うって。
かわいい。
かわいいな。
ねえ、バルト。
What the hell is this? Come on, give me a nice ray of sunshine, something I can laugh at.
あなたたちのお相手はまたいつね。
ちょっと。そうでしょ。なんでこうなんの？
二六の。ピン六の半。
バカな。サイコロがビビった。
Okay, that one was pretty good. But still. Oh god. What did I get myself into? Oh. Remember to click like, subscribe, the bell notification, and whatever else YouTube has you clicking on to support us.
Engine Sentai! Go-Onger!
What's up everyone, I am the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight I'm going to speed through 2008's Engine Sentai Go-Onger. Despite Geki Ranger breaking the Sentai formula, merchandise sales were lackluster. This in turn caused Toei to build their next series around toy cars that were given life a la a Pixar movie. The show was built around there being 11 dimensions, with the one the cars were from being known as Machine World, while the Rangers, and our world, is naturally Human World.
この幕は11次元まであって、人間たちのヒューマンワールドとか、エンジンたちのマシンワールドとか、いろいろな世界に分かれてるんだ。
Unlike Geki Ranger, Go-Onger also goes for a more comedic tone, which I feel doesn't really touch the finish line as a lot of the silliness just feels forced. Nevertheless, does Go-Onger drive a compelling narrative, or is this a show for the scrap heap? Let's ride into the heroes to find out. The heroes. Our heroes are just a bunch of everyday people who have a great sense of justice, which is what allows them to be chosen by their machine buddies to be rangers. Our initial trio, who are already rangers at the show's start, includes Sosuke Isami, Ren Kusaka, and Saki Royama. Played by Yasuhisa Furuhara, Shinwa Kataoka, and Rina Ayazawa. Sosuke is our loudmouth leader who is more akin to John rather than someone like Matoi from Go-Go 5, but unlike John, he has no reason to act the way he does. In fact, there are times where I feel he overacts and his movements appear quite unnatural. He also has Yu-Gi-Oh!-esque hair, as not a single strand of his hair ever seems to move out of place, even when he has his helmet on. It is revealed he was a race car driver who always believed he could create a miracle that would allow him to win a race.
あれは奇跡なんかじゃないぞ。チームのスタッフ、メカニックたちがおめえの無理な走りに応えるために徹夜で
You're a bigger buzzkill than Buzz Killington.
Ren is the more cool-headed ranger who likes to overthink a situation and will often take notes to deduce how they should approach one. He's from a rich family, though that did not stop his mother from dying from a disease when he was a child. Oh, don't act surprised. You knew someone was going to have a dead parent, right? Due to Ren having to take care of his mother when she was sick, he learned how to cook early on and is often the one who keeps our heroes fed, though most of the time he makes nothing but omelets. Additionally, he excels with technological skills, so he is the one who is always coming up with new gadgets and combinations for their equipment. Saki is perhaps the most developed of the three, as we come to learn once she got lost in a forest and a strange boy cheered her up by giving her a catchphrase that will make your ears bleed by the halfway mark, as she never stops saying it.
怖い時や寂しい時、笑うと勇気が湧いてくるよ。だからスマイルスマイル。
If I have to hear smile smile one more time, Saki, it's pow! Straight to the moon!
スマイルスマイル。
We also get to meet her selfish and mean-spirited sister, who thinks everyone should cater to her personal needs.
現世で山じゃった。
待て、俺が先だろ。公衆道徳守れ。
なんだあんた、文句あった？暑苦しか。
Before becoming a Go-Onger, Saki worked as a concession seller at the track Sosuke raced at.
スマイルスマイル。このジュースを飲めば夢が叶うかもよ。
一つもらうっす。
All three of them were chosen to be the Go-Ongers by a tiny robot dude thing who witnessed their bravery at the racetrack the day the villains attacked it.
死んじまったっすか、俺ら。
天国って綺麗。
みんな正義の味方になってほしいんだけど。
Bumper, as he is called, becomes their mentor whose main purpose is to locate any disturbances in the Force. I mean on Earth.
みんな最悪反応だよ。北関東地区そこが丘。
Unfortunately, he doesn't really do much else, and the one and only episode dedicated to him does not occur until the late 40s. The next two Rangers to join the team is a young delivery boy named Hunt Joe and ex-detective Gunpei Ishihara. Wait, sorry, Gunpei is not a detective, but rather an incompetent cop who quit before actually becoming a detective.
さっきの刑事さんの話だと、軍兵は警察を辞めるまで制服巡査だったってこと。
ああ、そうだ。軍兵って元刑事だったって。
待って待って、どういうこと？
Talk about butchering your character development for some stupid lame-ass gag joke halfway through the show.
軍兵って刑事だったんじゃなかったっけ？
そんなこと言ったっけ？お前たちの勝手なイメージだ。
いや、絶対に言った。ほら。
Up until that point, Kenji Ibasawa's Gunpei was my favorite ranger, as he seemed kind of badass, as he was executed with a much more serious approach compared to the other rangers, so naturally, Toei had to go and butcher that aspect to fit within the over-the-top slapstick bullshit nature of this show. I just don't get this, because Masahiro Usui was doing a fine job of keeping Hunt as the silly immature one, hence why we have scenes of him in dresses and falling in love with any woman older than him. It's quite perplexing that they couldn't just keep one character serious for the entire show. Speaking of serious characters ruined, we have our third set of rangers, a team known as the Go-On Wings. If you are familiar with Kamen Rider Kabuto, you will recognize the bees Hidenori Tokuyama as Hiroto Suto, with his sister Miyu being played by Yumi Sugimoto. This rich family sibling team was chosen by a rare race of flying vehicle engines to help fight the villains. They start out quite serious, sometimes being jackasses to the Go-Ongers, which is pretty much a requirement in this day and age for a Sixth Ranger-esque character. Before stooping down to their levels of stupidity.
お化けだけはダメなんだ。どうしても。
Fortunately, they do maintain their credibility compared to Gunpei. Nevertheless, Hiroto is such a great character with truly epic moments like being a womanizer,
お前らしつこいんだよ。二度と俺に近寄るな。
being a good singer,
街の明かりがそっと優しく月を包む
and most importantly, being a top-notch pen twirler. Because that's apparently a thing. No, seriously, there's an entire episode dedicated to the villains kidnapping people who can twirl their pens very well in a plot to pollute the earth.
この超小型装置が高速回転すると、あのマシンに共鳴し、大都市を破壊するほどの騒音が発生するぞよ。
There's even a tournament on this apparently. I can just see it now in the future. We're gonna have pen games on motorcycles! This show is dumb. Miu does have some pretty kick-ass moments with Saki. Then again, look at how damn short those shorts are. So they have a lot of leg power compared to the other Rangers.
Who wears short shorts?
We wear short shorts.
Actually, scratch the kick-ass moments, cause they team up with the female villain to give us this. There are also hints that Miu ends up falling in love with Sosuke, such as the time here when a monster turned Sosuke into a gangster. Now that's funny! Of course, she also suddenly gets weaker if her brother isn't there to help her. Other than those moments, there's not much else to these characters that we either haven't seen done better in Sentai altogether, or really anything memorable to speak on. The costumes for the Rangers are not all that great either. They have seat belts on their suits with tires around their gloves and boots, while the wings just have wings. I do like the shiny gold and silver used for the wingsuits though. You know what to expect at this point out of their weapons, which combine to form cannons to destroy the monsters with. There's not much else to really speak on for the team, as the core concept revolves around their engine buddies, which I will cover in the mech section. The villains. If you thought the Rangers were bland in the character development department, you ain't seen nothing yet, as the barbaric machine tribe Gaiark really puts the test of the metal in being robotic. Their goal is to pollute the earth. Nothing more, nothing less. Our three generals, known as ministers, are Land Pollution Minister Yogostein, Air Pollution Minister Kitanides, and Water Pollution Minister Kagalazia. They exist. That's about all I can say about them.
Can't you see you're just making rock and roll worse?
There's really no reason why Kagalazia has a human form beyond Toei just wanting to have some fan service for the boys, as they don't do anything with it. Well, she does like to drink and does get drunk a lot if you count that. There was one moment where the show pretended like it was going to do something with her when Hot tried to hit on her and impress her, but nothing ever came out of it beyond that one single episode. The same goes for when she becomes a pop idol band with Miu and Saki for 2 episodes. Nope. The most notable factor about Yogostein is that he is voiced by Kiyoyuki Yanada, who I recently talked about in my Hurricane review, as he was Talzant there. As for Kitanides, I've got nothing. Some in the past compared them to Baranoia and O-Ranger, which I guess is because they are both machine empires, but honestly, even bringing up Baranoia's name in the same sentence as Gaiark is an insult to O-Ranger. Hell, Bomber the Great had more personality and development in his 7 episodes than these 3 dumbasses have combined in its entire 50-episode run. There was another secondary general that came into the show just before the Go-On Wings named Hira Mekamedes, who seemed quite badass when he first appeared, only to become a joke villain as his tenure continued. Basically, he got Lord Zedded. But hey, At least he had a backstory. He was originally going to assassinate Yogo-Stein, but then Yogo-Stein offered him a position as vice minister, and from there he became Yogo-Stein's most dedicated servant, at least until he disappeared mysteriously and everyone thought he was dead.
I heard you were dead.
I thought you were dead.
Heard you were dead.
Heard you were dead.
I swear to God, I thought you were dead.
Moving on, there are some other machines that appear through the show that were said to have been important, however most of them were dead within 1 or 2 episodes, making their existence and hype moot. For example, there is this family of machines that we are told are supposed to be terrifying, one of which is a prince who wants Kagalazia to marry him, yet when he emerges, not only is he an idiot, but he is also dead by the end of the episode.
姫、あなたもご自分の美しさを認めるべきです。
好きにするでおじゃる。
Not to mention the Gaiark Emperor doesn't even show up until episode 47, although I do like some of the weapons for the cleaning minister.
雑巾グレネード、その力を見るであります。叩きブレード。
The monsters of the week are called Bonky Beasts. They're mostly morons based on a variety of objects such as balloons,
邪魔するやつはここだ。スカスカスカスカスカスカス。邪魔者がいなくなったところで風船爆発だ。
an incinerator,
美しすぎるこの世界の大気よ。どうすぐろく燃えろ。
I think the only person that would be scared of that monster is Freddy Krueger. A drill.
Oh yeah, Screwhead gonna whip all the butts. Screwhead a mean little GoBot, got a big old screw on his head. Screwhead gonna be like pow pow, smack pow pow, knocking good guys down. They all be like, who are you? And I'll be like, Screwhead.
せっかく再登場した俺を無視するなギリ。
A manhole.
邪魔はさせないでござんす。じゃあ。
A shower. Ugh, these monsters are dumb. So this is the last straw.
Pun intended? Well, duh.
They grow big via a special oil that activates upon defeat. The grunts are the grunts, known as Ugats.
Move along, there's nothing to see here!
The Mecha. Do you like puns? I hope you like puns, because all of the engine names are puns. We have Speedor.
Goodbye, Radiator Springs, and goodbye, Bessie!
Basan.
Boy, you should have heard me on Giddy Up, Papa Mile Mile.
Bear RV.
Don't you big city race cars ever just take a drive?
Burka. Gunford.
俺のポリシーは戦いは正義のためにだ。
ああ、俺も同じだぜ。
分かってたぜ。さっき見せてもらったからな。
Corrugator.
不法な邪魔立てするわ。誰だ。
Turiptor. Jeturus.
私を本気にさせたね。トリプターパタリオット。ジェットラストラホーク。
Jumbo Whale.
ヒロト、ミュウ、こっちは任せたまえ。
Kishimoth, T-Line, and K-Line. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what the pun is supposed to be for the last two. Anyway, Speedor, Basan, and BRV combine to form Engino. Burker, Gunford, and Corrugator form Gunbiro. Turiptor, Jeturas, and Jumbo Whale make Seikuro. Lastly, our prehistoric train line merge together to form Koritsuyo. They can amalgamate together as the show progresses to make Engine O G6, G9, and G12. From this review forward, I am going to be calling the mech of this style Stuff Goes Here, because it looks like the combination aspects were an afterthought with the mechs fitting together as opposed to being designed that way. Here it's just we have the initial mech, they go together like this. Now we have to figure out how to just squeeze these other mechs on here, so we'll make this mech go there, and yeah, they won't notice, it'll look right, it'll be fine. Hey, I just came up with this idea for a great mech, oh cool. Then we'll just place that one right there on the side of his leg or some stupid ass shit like that. Now, one thing I do like about these vehicles is they are not allowed to stay in their engine forms for more than 10 minutes. Otherwise, they will start to rust due to Earth's atmosphere.
エンジンソールがエンジンキャストにセットされた時俺たちは本来の姿で10分間だけ活動できるんだぜ
It brings on a very Ultraman vibe, though like Ultraman and his color timer, the length of the battle is dictated by plot convenience and not real time. As such, 20 minutes to us could be less than 10 minutes by their world. Regardless, it is a unique concept not really covered before in a Sentai series. In order to combat this weakness, the engines must keep their bodies in toy form while their AIs or souls are stored in a chip that allows them to talk to the Rangers through holograms.
どうしよう信じられねえただの人間にここまでできるのかよごめん
As if having 12 individual engines wasn't tiresome enough, we have one more mech, which was built by Ren named Go Rotor GT. Huh. Another Old Ranger ripoff. Go figure. An engine can operate it, but it is a very painful ordeal and drains the engine of their energy.
後で分かったことやけどゴローダーにうちらのソウルがセットされるとパワーが吸い取られてしまうみたいなんや
Like with the villains and Rangers, there's not too much else to speak on as the mech battles are pretty uninspiring, with maybe one or two battles that really stood out to me.
It's a fresh take on Tough Clean.
The effects and music. If there are two things I must give Go-Onger credit for, it is in its amazing soundtrack and the hologram animations for the engines. Toei had their animation studio animate all the engine holograms, and they do look stunning. I also love how they seamlessly blend in with the live action footage, as you hardly feel like they were not there the entire time. It also helps that the Rangers do look like they are actually staring where they should instead of in the distance. Regrettably, I cannot say the same for the rest of the effects, which sometimes rely on those CGI sparks I mentioned in my Hurricanes review and other CGI atrocities. There's nothing significant about the fight choreography or camera work, though there was one scene that stood out to me due to its spinning camera.
ガイアックの罠
手紙を書いたのは俺だ
That was cool. The music is what really makes this show watchable, as Hideyuki Takahashi's opening theme is exceptionally catchy. Easily the best thing about this show. There are several versions of the ending theme by Project R, where the opening rap bit changes based on which engine is being discussed, while the core music is the same. It's a pretty good ending compared to other series. The rest of the soundtrack, which had two different artists working on it, Megumi Ohashi and Kenichiro Ushi, is equally enjoyable. I love the Gaiarc thing. It sounds far more intimidating than the Gaiarc themselves.
エンジンたちいいざまでおじゃる
気がれじゃ
The episodes. Well, here we are. The section of the review I've been dreading the most. The episodes. Why have I been dreading this section? Because it's the one section I don't have much positive I can speak on. But I will try. This show was painful for me to sit through. Even the episodes I didn't downright despise were pretty awful. I just don't know what Toei was going for here, but it didn't work for me. It felt like the show wanted to feature serious themes, hence why the villains are pollution-based. Yet, it wanted to be silly as if it was trying to be Car Ranger 2.0.
子供たちが大人になるのに何年かかるんだ？何年って幼稚園が3年で小学校が6年で中学高校が6年でさらに大人になるまでは
って今頃気づいたでおじゃるか？
Either way, it failed on all ends of the spectrum immensely. There's little to no main plot whatsoever, so outside of the appearance of new engines, you could skip episodes and not even miss out on anything. I will give the show credit for one thing though. It does at least acknowledge its own continuity, such as when the Rangers pointed out to Gunpei he stated he had been a detective, and then another episode later on that referenced Hunt wearing a dress and Sosuke being frozen for a second time.
ショーウィンドウを見た時ハントの女装姿が似合ってたのを思い出したの。
なんだこんなとこに傷がある。この間掃除大臣にやられたやつ。こっちもあるぞ。バルカを怪我列車から取り返そうとした時の傷。
Continuity.
Nevertheless, it makes it really hard to choose a bad episode because they are all bad. I mean, I could pick the aforementioned episode about Han's cross-dressing stunt, or the one with the pen twirling plot, to even the horrid G3 princess garbage crap that happens twice, with one time the male rangers forming G5 princes.
君の笑顔が曇ってるだなんて聞いたからぎゅっと
I think the one I am going to go with that I absolutely hated the most was the one titled Childcare Advice. In this episode, Hiroto comes across an alien egg and it hatches on him.
いないいない。どうこんな顔。
He ends up trying to raise the newly born alien while Gaia Arc tries to take it.
Of course!
What I hate the most about this episode is how it goes against everything that was established about his character. This plot worked in Mega Ranger because Kenta was shown to be a goofball who would take responsibility when he had to. Having him find an alien egg and want to take care of it worked with his character. Here, Hiroto is supposed to be this super serious, no-nonsense, emotionless fighter. What's even worse is how emotional he gets throughout the episode, especially when the creature is captured.
お前をこの手で倒さなければならないならこの俺がこの手で
Oh, I hate this show!
こんな顔でヒロト
兄
To move to a more positive note, there were some moments I did enjoy. For example, there was one episode about an alien father who hires Gaiark to retrieve his daughter who ran out on him, and our minister seemed to be pretty scared of this dude for some reason.
それでおめえはおめおめと帰ってきたのか。貴様。
なんだおみゃ。
There was also one that dealt with a TV monster brainwashing everyone into believing fake news except for Gunpei.
次のニュース。今日から全ての工場ではこれまでの10倍の煙を出すことが法律で決定しました。
The one I did go with for being my favorite was an episode that featured a hot springs monster that captured Hunt, among many others, and they are freed by a random stranger who knows martial arts. Except that was not the reason why everyone was freed. The man drags Hunt off to discipline him into being a better fighter.
あのな。情けない。こんなのが人々を守るヒーローとは。来い。
離して何するんですか。
期待をしてやる。
離してくださいよ。
Excitement Every Day is the title of this one, and from here, Kagalizia is worried her monster is going to lose, so she pretends to be a disciple as well to learn new techniques to make her Banki Beast stronger. Naturally, Hunt falls in love with Kagalizia and tries to impress her, which seals her monster's downfall.
僕はエナさんとこに早く戻りたいの。
It was fairly entertaining, and the least cringe-inducing episode I experienced with this show. And that's what matters at the end of the day, right?
はいはい。ゴーゴー。さて、はい右で。二人ともこう。あ逆。エンジン戦隊。Go-Onger.
The movies and specials and stuff.
How many times have I told you don't say and stuff?
Sorry. But yeah, Go-Onger has a lot of supplemental crap. The first is a theatrical film which takes the Rangers in a samurai world where they meet Kamen Rider Faiz, Dinah Black, and Deca Pink. I mean 3 samurai warriors who were originally engines that lost their bodies to an evil queen. I have to say that I rather enjoyed the movie as it seemed like it tossed out the forced comedy routine and went for a much more serious story. The evil queen was no joke and a far better threat than that of the Guy arc. I kinda wish the rest of the series had been the movie plot. I also loved Engine Daishogun. In addition, if you are going to watch the movies with the series, which I do recommend since there are 2 episodes that tie into the aftermath of the movie, it takes place between episodes 31 and 32. Just watch it before episode 36 no matter what. Next up is the Go-Onger vs. Geki Ranger movie, which pits our teams against surviving predatory fist user Gamera, and Guy arc as they try to resurrect Long. Just like with the theatrical film, I actually like the story far more than the series itself. It too has a much more serious tone, it's well paced, but most of all, there is excellent chemistry between the actors to both shows that it feels like both teams are real heroes. I love the scenes when the Geki Rangers are trying to train the Go-Ongers and Beastarts.
I know, right?
Of course, it features the Go-Ongers learning engine Beastarts, which we will never ever hear about again. Oh, and the return of Leo and Melee. To commemorate the 10th year anniversary of Go-Onger, Toei did an anniversary film. As with Hurricaneer, I can't go into detail without spoiling the series, but it features the Rangers being outlaws, a new machine monster that wants to turn everyone into Cybermen, and some of the most wooden acting ever, even by Sentai standards. Finally, there were a series of webisodes that tied into the movie by being set before, during, and after the film's events. They're pretty pointless and dumb, though I did get a kick out of this moment here. Overall, I hated Go-Onger. I hated the characters, I hated the mecha, I hated the comedy, I hated the plot, or their lack of. I hated everything there was about this show. As such, I am giving it the lowest of the low, a 1 out of 5 grown-ups in spandex. What's sad is that this isn't even the worst Sentai show out there, as there are series that are worse than it. Nevertheless, do not watch this show at all. It has no redeeming value whatsoever. Go watch Power Rangers RPM instead. I've heard that one's pretty good, and I'm going to check that one out myself now. Until next time, bye.